What if the key to real power isn't shouting loudest, but a quiet strength so deep it's often mistaken for weakness? A forgotten superpower that promises not just a fleeting win, but the earth itself. This is the surprising truth about meekness. Welcome to episode 3 of the 8 Beatitudes to radically transform your everyday life series. Today, we're diving into a statement from the Sermon on the Mount that's puzzled people for centuries. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. In a world championing aggression, the idea of meekness leading to inheriting anything sounds backwards, doesn't it? But what if our common image of meekness is just raw? What if we've overlooked a genuine superpower, thinking it was just passivity? Get ready, because true meekness isn't about being a doormat. It's about a quiet strength that can literally change your world. Let's be honest, our culture often screams, nice guys finish last. Aggression gets dressed up as ambition, and being pushy is sold as confidence. The one who dominates the room is often seen as the strong leader. And meekness? It gets a terrible rap, seen as timid, wishy-washy, or even cowardly. With that picture, the idea of meekness as a blessing or a source of power sounds pretty ridiculous. But then, Jesus comes along and flips this worldly value system on its head. He says, "Blessed are the meek." This isn't just some nice thought. It's a core principle for a different way of living. The surprising truth is that biblical meekness is worlds away from our modern caricature. It's not about lacking courage. It's about a completely different kind of courage. It's not about being weak. It's about a strength so real, it doesn't need to shout. If being aggressive was the true path to lasting happiness, why would this ancient wisdom point us in the exact opposite direction? The world cheers for the strong who take. Jesus cheers for the meek who inherit. This isn't just a quirky saying, it's a deep truth waiting to be understood. So, if meekness isn't weakness, then what exactly is it? The original Greek word for meek, praus, gives us a fantastic image. It was often used to describe a powerful warhorse, full of energy and incredible strength, but perfectly trained and responsive to the slightest touch of the rider's rein. Its power isn't gone, it's harnessed, directed, and made truly effective. That's meekness, strength that's under perfect control. It's not about having no power. It's about how you choose to use the power you have with discipline and gentleness. Imagine a mighty river capable of destructive floods if unchecked. But when its power is channeled, it brings life and energy. That's the essence of praus. Spiritually speaking, meekness is all tied up with humility and trust. It's the opposite of pride and that stubborn need to always push our own way. A meek person isn't someone who can't stand up for themselves. They're someone who chooses to trust their cause to something bigger, to God, instead of relying on their own force. Think of Moses, called the meekest man on earth, yet he was the powerful leader who stood up to Pharaoh. And Jesus himself, who said, "I am meek and lowly in heart," also turned over tables in the temple with righteous conviction. This shows us that meekness and decisive action aren't enemies. So true meekness is this amazing blend, a gentle spirit that refuses to bully, combined with a rock-solid commitment to what's right, all flowing from a deep trust. It's having the ability to lash out, but choosing instead a response of patience and controlled strength for a bigger reason. in a world that often cheers for the loudest and most aggressive. Choosing meekness takes incredible courage. It's completely countercultural. It requires serious inner strength and self-control to not just react when provoked, to meet anger with anger, or to trust in a divine plan when everyone else is screaming for instant results. This isn't the easy way out. Often it's much harder. Think of it like a skilled martial artist who possesses immense power but chooses restraint, using their skill to de-escalate or defend, not to crush. We all feel the pressure to always be right, to win every argument, to control every situation. Meekness says there's another way. It's the courage to say, I don't have all the answers. It's the strength to listen more than you talk. It's the toughness to face unfairness without becoming bitter. Trusting that true justice will come. The superpower part of meekness is in how surprisingly effective it is. Aggression might get you quick wins, but it usually leaves behind resentment and division. Meekness, though, it has this amazing ability to disarm people, to build bridges, and to create real connection. It's the courage to be vulnerable, which ironically makes others trust you. This isn't the flashy power of a bully. It's the lasting, influential strength of a true leader, someone who serves instead of dominates. Now that promise attached to meekness is huge. They shall inherit the earth. What on earth does that actually mean? It's easy to think of it as just some future reward, but the inheritance of the meek starts right here, right now. First, inheriting the earth can mean finding a deep inner peace and contentment. A feeling of truly belonging, like finding an unshakable anchor in life's storms. When you're not constantly fighting for dominance or eaten up by resentment, you find a stability that doesn't depend on your ability to conquer, but on your ability to trust. As the Message paraphrase of Matthew 5:5 puts it, you're blessed when you're content with just who you are. That calm and assured inner world, that's a precious inheritance. Secondly, inheriting the earth is about having a kind of influence and impact that goes way beyond just owning stuff. The meek, with their gentleness and controlled strength, often build legacies of trust and healing. Their influence isn't forced, it's earned. Their legacy isn't etched in stone monuments of conquest, but in healed hearts and thriving communities. As a well-respected theologian shared, the meek defend their peace. They defend their relationship with God and God's gifts. This other land he speaks of is the real inheritance, a place of spiritual richness, strong relationships, and unshakable hope, becoming a source of strength, not just for them, but for everyone around them. Here's the good news. Meekness isn't some rare personality trait. It's a virtue we can all grow. It's a conscious choice, a discipline. So how do we actually cultivate this forgotten superpower? First, try practicing submission to God. This means letting go of your tight-fisted plans and need to control every outcome. Second, make a conscious choice for gentleness when things get tense. When provoked, pause, breathe. Choose a response from calm, not reactive anger. It's like reining in that powerful warhorse we talked about. This might mean being quick to listen and slow to speak. Third, embrace humility. Let go of needing to always be right or to show off. Acknowledge your humanity. Fourth, actively seek and offer forgiveness. Holding on to grudges is the opposite of meekness. Fifth, look for examples. Whether it's historical figures known for their gentle strength, people in your own life, or Jesus as the ultimate model. Learning from them can inspire. Finally, practices like regular self-reflection can be fantastic tools for taming anger and growing in meekness. Cultivating meekness isn't about becoming less of who you are. It's about becoming more controlled, more patient, more peaceful, and ultimately more powerful in the ways that truly count. This journey of understanding and trying to live out meekness can really change your everyday life. It challenges us to rethink strength and success. If this idea of meekness as a forgotten superpower has resonated with you, please give this video a like so others can find it. And subscribe for more in our Beatitudes series. Now, here's something to think about. Where in your life this week could you consciously try to practice meekness? Maybe in a tricky conversation, a frustrating moment, or even just in how you talk to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. In a world that's constantly screaming for attention, the call to meekness is like a quiet whisper that actually holds the roar of true power. We've seen that meekness isn't weakness at all. It's extraordinary strength, perfectly controlled, growing out of humility and a deep trust. It's the courage to choose gentleness instead of force, patience instead of retaliation. And that promise that the meek will inherit the earth, it's a deep spiritual and practical reality. An inheritance of inner peace, genuine influence, and resilient hope. By cultivating this forgotten superpower, we don't just change ourselves. We bring a desperately needed quiet, resilient strength to the world. Dare to be meek and discover the superpower within. Father, thank you for this opportunity to be enlightened as your people again this day. In Jesus' name, amen.